Hello Renee, Dave Parise. I'm right now just kind of warming up on a treadmill. Now I know you don't have a treadmill at home, so any form of warm-up, it seems like you're a pretty well-versed athlete where you're running and warming up, etc. So you must have some kind of warm-up. We'll get into the warm-up in a second, but here's what I've designed for you. I've been putting some notes together, mental notes as well as on paper. Thinking about your Monday and Wednesday program is going to be located in the gym itself. So the majority of the exercises that you do are going to be actually in the gym on Monday and Wednesday. Now, the Tuesday, Thursday are the lighter days. So we're going to tone it down a little bit, and these are things that you could do at home on Tuesday, Thursday. Then what I've came up with, Friday or Saturday, your option. I remember you saying that Saturday might be tough. You have the gym that's 30 miles away. The Friday or Saturday is an option. You can go to the gym or home, where we're going to be doing a series of different movement patterns. So this is the first video design that I've created this way. Okay, you made me think when you were telling me about your days and how you break it up. I usually have day 1, day 2, day 3. You're going to see your Monday workout, it's going to say Tuesday workout, etc., etc. Wednesday workout, Thursday workout, optional Friday, Saturday workout. Okay? We'll be right back. Welcome and thank you so much for putting your trust in me. I am now your trainer for the next 90 days as you're watching this. So you're going to have some questions as time goes on, but I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. I'm also going to try to educate you along the way. So we're going to look at this as more of an educational experience, something that you're going to hold on to the rest of your life. Okay, this is 25 years of research. So let's just assume you did your own workout, your own warm-up, I should say. You've increased inner core temperature. So it sounds to me like if you look at my feet, you know how to jump rope. I'm taking a guess. So if I was just to stand here and jump as if I'm jumping rope, notice that my knees don't bend too much. I'm just jumping up and down. That's all I'm doing. And if I add a rope to that, this is good enough. Okay, remember, you're a runner. You're outside. You're doing all kinds of sports, outside activities. You're getting that cardiovascular benefit. So it's not necessary to actually use a rope, but I'm giving you the mechanics of the rope. I don't want you to jump any higher than the rope. So if you want to jump rope, I just want you to do this, just to warm up a little bit, because you're going to see a lot of jumping in this video. I truly believe in it. The research that was done about jumping in between sets, just to keep your heart rate elevated, inner core temperature elevated, etc. So we're just jumping rope. As soon as you warm up and you feel like you've increased your inner core temperature, immediately I want you to go do some stretches. Remember, your body's like a piece of plastic. If I take a piece of plastic and bend it, it'll go back to its original form. That means that was not beneficial if you just start stretching. Once I warm the piece of plastic, add some heat to it, take that plastic, bend it, it'll stay. So we elongate the plastic, and that's beneficial. Any flat bench in the gym, they're in front of the mirrors where the dumbbells are. Most gyms are set up the same way. Stand totally straight. Take one leg of your choice, put it straight out in front of you. Do not flex your toe towards you, because that'll shorten the calf and limit your range of motion on hip flexion during the hamstring stretch. What I'd like you to do is put your hands behind your back, keep your chest high, and flex forward. Okay, hold that. Now I feel a level of tension here in the hamstring. Here's the worst thing that you could do, Renee. Do not reach for your toe. Stay up, flex forward. Again, one foot straight out in front of you. Free your foot. Do not pull it towards you. We do not want to flex the spine or reach for the toe. That's spinal flexion. Okay, that's not hip flexion. Hip flexion is what we want to elongate the hamstring. Hands behind your back. Flex forward from the hip. Chest high. Don't look up. Keep your head neutral. Feel that level of tension in the hamstring. Hold. What I'd like you to do is once you feel that tension, think of this leg as an arrow, a bow and arrow, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this way and hold. Watch that again. Flex forward. Let your body adjust to the tightness. Take that arrow, shift this way, and hold. I'm still upright. Come down slowly. Switch. Flex forward from the hip. Feel that level of tightness. Take that arrow, shift, hold, and come on off. Now, in the gym, in the fitness center, you're going to see some type of incline bench. Get your incline bench. It's movable at every level. Just bring it up a little, nothing fancy. Approach the bench this way. My front foot forward, that's very key for your base or your foundation. I'm going to stand tall, grab my ankle, not my foot, and I'm just going to pull, and I'm going to actually stretch the hip flexor. Right here, it's a nice hip flexor stretch. Okay, there's no pressure here on my shoulder. I'm holding that ankle, not the foot. Everybody pulls on their foot, hold the ankle, and just use this bench as a brace. I'll show you on the other side. I'm going to approach the bench, put my knee into the bench. This foot is forward for a base of support. I'm going to grab my ankle. Okay, at that point I'm going to elongate my body, get tall, and just hold and feel the pull on the hip flexor or the front of the leg, the quadriceps. Now if I'm doing this stretch and I feel it in the kneecap itself, release and get out of there because it's not the right stretch for you. You should feel it definitely in the muscle, somewhere above the knee, between the hip and the knee, and hold that stretch. Okay, these are just 2 quick stretches. We didn't begin the workout program yet. The next exercise I want you to do is called the hip thrust. This is Monday. Remember, this is your Monday. I'm going to a flat bench. Any flat bench in the gym, I'm going to sit on that bench and I'm going to basically come down off the bench slightly. And what I'm feeling against my back right now is my pivot point. Call it a pivot point. My feet are directly under my knees. I'm going to go up into that tabletop position. Okay? If I had to draw a line to where that bench is right now, that's what I'm pivoting off of. I'm going to drop my hips, bring my body up till my head hits. 1 repetition. 2. Sometimes in the gym, if the benches are not bolted down, you might want to put a dumbbell somewhere around them or on the sides of the bench so it doesn't slide. Most of them will not slide. Nice and slow, you're doing these hip thrust exercises. You're going to do 12 repetitions. You're going to do 3 sets. And you're going to rest maybe, if any, 30 seconds between the sets. 12 repetitions. Let's say that was 12. Going to rock back, come off. At that time, you're waiting 30 seconds to do another set. Well, guess what? Hamstring. Hamstring. Hip flexor. Hip flexor. Come around. Second set. Why would you rest and waste time between sets? Go right back into your 12 repetitions. Hip thrust. What are we doing right now? Okay, we're bringing our body into extension. We're activating the gluteal area, the hamstrings, putting our body back into its natural posture, which is going to create a stronger platform or a stronger foundation to get ready for our back workout. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm setting the stage. Let's say that was 12. I'm setting the stage for you to actually start your Monday workout. It looks like a lot right now. It's not. Okay? I don't want you just walking into the gym and start pushing and pulling all these loads. I'm actually making your spine stronger to handle the force load that's about to come. Let's start our back workout. Today's Monday. You're going to have some type of free motion machine. Something like this. It doesn't matter. Look. The cable is going to be about belly button level. So it doesn't matter what kind of machine it is. It can be a machine like this, where there's pulleys that slide up and down. And you're going to bring the pulley to about this level. Okay, so just look at it as a pulley. Look at this, nothing more than a pulley. Now, if you have a machine like this, similar to this, great. Everything has a hand grip. You've seen them. We're going to set a reasonable weight for demonstration. You're going to walk away from the machine with the pulley level with your waistline. Walk back. Here's your first exercise out of the gate. Now, the mechanics of a squat. I'm assuming you know how to squat. Okay? You're just going to sit down slightly, and that's your squat. I don't want you to go any deeper. Water runs down your thigh. You're going to stand and pull right into you, but here's the mechanics of the pull. Watch closely. This is just pulling my arm, which is incorrect. And it looks nice, smooth, rhythmic, and controlled. Okay, so if you saw this outside of this video, you'd think it was correct. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to draw your shoulder blade back. See that movement? Draw your shoulder blade back. Shoulder blade back. Drive your elbow down and back. Shoulder blade, 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 down and back. Squat, shoulder blade, down and back, pull. 2. So I'm pulling from here. Okay, not from here. I could do bicep pulls all day long. That's elbow flexion. You're working your back on a horizontal plane. The back works on 2 planes, horizontal and vertical. So you could call it a pull-up, you could call it a lat pull. This is a particular exercise is called a row by definition. And in a row situation, your body wants to draw your shoulder blade back first. Whether it's together or a single arm, it wants to draw the shoulder blades back first. Then it's asking for the elbow to follow. And the very last in line is the wrist joint, or the grip. So think of your hand as nothing more than a grip device, holding onto this handle, going along for the ride. Everything comes from here and here. You're going to do 4 sets, non-stop, pulley machine. Doesn't matter where you stand, by the way, the pulley moves with you. 4 sets non-stop, 12 repetitions, and it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, call it 12. As soon as you hit that magic number 12, you literally switch hands and go right into it. 1. This is your first exercise after the series of movements and warm-up that you just witnessed. 3. Call this 12. 12. Listen, that was 1 set on each side of 12 repetitions. Go right into your other side. 12 here. 12 here. 12 here. How fast, how slow? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 12 and 12. 4 sets. 12, 12. That's 1 set. 12, 12, 2. 12, 12, 3. 12, 12, 4. 4 sets of 12. We'll be right back. We're back, and it's still Monday. Okay, we did a series of warm-ups. We then stretched our hamstrings, our quadriceps. We came over here, we set a pulley low. Or I went to another machine and just brought the pulley down so it was level with my belly button, my waistline, my belt line. And we did 4 sets of 12 on each side. And what we did is we incorporated a squat motion into it. Instead of just standing there and pulling, I want you to keep moving. I want to keep it kinetically engaged. So kinetically engaged is we're changing the resistance profile for you. I want to make sure that every single muscle in your body was engaged as you're going through these motion patterns or movement patterns. Okay, now we're setting the pulley high now, setting the bar high as well. A pulley high will work on a different fiber direction of the back. Again, remember we talked about vertical being high pulley and row being low pulley. So we take this pulley high. Again, I can't set your weights for you. I'm not too sure exactly how you're going to perform this exercise in regards to load. So you're going to have to pick a weight that you could do 10 to 12 times where you're kind of fatiguing on 10, but you're not sacrificing form. Here, the cable is an extension of my arm. Here's the worst thing that could happen. You're holding on to this. The weight stack is not touching right now. I walked back a little bit. That's the weight stack touching. I don't want this to happen. Right now it's pulling on my shoulder joint. This is neutral. Watch it from the other angle. This is incorrect. This is neutral. So, if I have a load that's going to pull because it's opposing forces, it's going to pull my shoulder joint. In reality, it's internally rotating my shoulder joint, and I'm creating some type of an impingement in a protracted shoulder girdle position. Bad posture will lead to a muscular imbalance and eventually some type of an injury. So we're going to keep it neutral. And before, you remember, we draw the shoulder blade back and pull. Now we're going to draw the shoulder blade down, followed by the elbow. So here I am in a little staggered stance. I feel stronger with the same leg and same arm at the same position. I go up, I follow the load. Right now my arm is straight. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to let this weight pull me into a risky position. I'm going to drive my shoulder blade back, followed by my arm. If you draw a line straight down, it's part of my arm. This is incorrect. This would be incorrect, and this would be incorrect. Look at my arm. Should be here. Okay, so slow, controlled. Draw, hold. 2, 3, 4, pause. 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, hold. Let's say I did 12. Immediately, switch hands, switch legs. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, pause. This is the resistance profile for muscular hypertrophy. We're trying to build and lay down some lean tissue to increase your metabolism, increase your metabolic rate, and your body's ability to burn more calories at rest because we are increasing that muscle tissue. Okay? Then the opposite side. Draw. 2, 3, 4. So the cadence is 3 and 3. Hold. Hold. So if you notice, I'm going back and forth just like I did the squat pull. I'm going 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 4 sets. It seems like a lot. Your back is the largest, there's over 208 muscles. So there's a lot of muscles that run on a diagonal, that do a vertical pull, and there's a lot of muscles that run on a horizontal or transverse plane that bring your shoulder blades together. You could call it retraction, where you're drawing your shoulder blades together like you're cracking an egg between your shoulder blades. Old school saying, but that's basically what you're doing. Here, you're driving it down. So we did another 4 sets on a vertical pull, and I'm keeping these things bilateral. Okay, I'm doing that on purpose. Our next exercise is coming up. We'll be right back. Okay, you've probably seen, we're back, and we're still in the back section on Monday. Okay, this is an easy day. I'm telling you right now, you'll finish this workout in about a half hour, and as long as you're not talking to your friends. Listen, this is a regular S-hook or a device where you could purchase this at Home Depot. These hooks are about $3, $4. And all I did is buy any rope. I bought a rope at Home Depot. This entire, right here, cost me 20 bucks. Everything. I have a little piece of plastic PVC pipe that has a hole in it that I shoved the rope through and tied a knot. I'm showing you this because a lot of gyms have those short ropes, and you cannot do this exercise with a short rope. Now, some of the more advanced gyms have ropes that look like this. Not the black ones. The black ones are short. These are actually longer. I happen to tie a knot in this one. I shouldn't have, but I happen to because we do a different exercise with it. You could probably get away with this if it works. The problem with these short ropes for the next exercise is when you pull, you don't have the ability to retract. Everything's stuck. So you're bending your elbows and you're trying to get everything back. It's very cumbersome. It doesn't follow the planes or the paths of motion of what the joint wants to do under load. So that's why I'm begging you to go out and buy a piece of rope, okay? And the way you measure this is you just go from the top of your shoulder to your fingertip, okay? Double that, so you have one on the other side. From the top of your shoulder to your middle finger, whatever that length may be, double it, put a hook on it. Listen, you could just tie knots. You'd be fine. I just like the grips, and I like the color, so. Okay, I can do it in the dark, know what I'm doing. So I hold on to this right here. My arms are straight. You could take this with you to the gym. If the gym has long ropes, you're all set. This is one that is a must, okay? You're starting here. I'm not too far from the pulley. I want to keep it vertical. The more I walk away, the more the load comes down. I want to make sure that I stay close to the pulley as possible, as long as the weights are not hitting. Notice my arms, notice my body position. What if I was to ask you to play golf or tennis? You'd be here, you'd address the ball. You'd be here with your tennis racket. It's called an athletic stance or a waiting or athletic position. So you're in that athletic position or that ready position. You're going to keep your arms straight as possible, act as if you don't even have an elbow. You're driving your arms into the ground, keeping that chest high. When you reach your hips, you're going to have the ability to draw your shoulder blades back. This is incorrect. This is correct. I'm drawing my shoulder blades at the back end. You cannot draw your shoulder blades back until your fist reaches your hip. Now that you have the ability to row. Believe it or not, this is a straight arm row. Okay, you're seeing it differently. You're actually doing a row, but you see my arm extended. Straight arm pull. The rope gives me the ability to work in a free range of motion, the way my joints were dictated to move, or not dictated with the short rope. So, nice and easy. Go through the motion, slow, pause, pull, retract. Slow, pause, pull, retract. Slow, pause, pull, retract. This one you're going to do 3 sets of 10. Okay, now in between sets, here's what I want you to do. As soon as you get done with that, literally, I put the rope down, I get on the ground immediately, and I hold this position. If you cannot hold this position, drop your knees. I'm still straight. This is incorrect. Okay? That's incorrect. This is correct. I want to be in that straight line. Look how subtle that is. Look how subtle that is. I just drop the knee. I don't move the hips. If you can hold this, fine. Hold this position. Stay in that perfect plank. And you're going to hold that for 10 seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, and that's it. 10 seconds. You're going to come right back over here. Now, you're at a gym. It's a public place. It's busy. So I would suggest to stay right here. Maybe there's a yoga mat, something, if you don't feel comfortable putting your hands right on the floor. But the bottom line, as soon as you put this rope down, go right to the floor and hold that position. I grab the rope again. I'm on my second set. Draw. Retract. Draw. Retract. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. Straight pipes, straight arm. As soon as I drop it, hold this plank position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can't hold the plank? Just drop the knees. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. 3 sets. We'll be right back. Here's what we're going to do. Let's assume that you have a machine like this, right here. This free motion machine with the pulleys. And the pulleys are adjustable up and down. Now, if you have this machine, I'd like you to bring both pulleys up. Now, I didn't want you sitting on the floor. I'm going to be honest with you. 9 times out of 10, I do this filming on the floor. So, if there is no bench that you could move in front of the machine, then obviously you have to sit on the floor. So, 2 options. When you do this exercise, we're going to guess and hit appropriate weight with you. I want you to hold on to the 2 hand grips. These pulleys are all the way in on the rotation side. All the way in. They don't go any further. What I meant by that is these two pulleys are as close as they possibly can be. Now I'm going to hold these weights, and I'm going to slowly get in position and lower myself to the ground slowly. My knees are bent. I'm sitting as tall as possible. I'm going to draw my shoulder blades down. Nothing changes in the case of resistance profile or biomechanics. I don't change A vertical pull is a vertical pull. You were doing this standing single arm. You're just seeing me seated. There's no difference. Just giving you a little variety. Now you have the option of doing it like this. Notice the load line going through my arm. This is incorrect. Out here is incorrect. Pretending it's a straight bar is incorrect. Driving down and holding is correct. Driving down and bringing my arms down this way is incorrect. When I do this exercise, everything stays in one range of motion. That load line is the same. If I had the option of bringing a bench over, we're only doing 3 sets of 10 of the next series. I'm going to let you pick which one. I would just sit on the bench in front of it and do the same exercise. My chest is high. I'm sitting tall. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, straight arm. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, straight arm. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3. Now that's the pulley option. I'm giving you options. Option 1, ready? Option 2. This doesn't mean you're doing option 2. Look at this bar. This is your basic lat pull station. There's a pulley over your head. There's a bench. There's roller pads. Okay, be a visionary. It's not this old school. You have updated equipment. This is very old. This stuff is 20 years old, but it works like a charm. All right, now you have this circle bar here. Maybe it's just a bar that's this short and has a hand grip in the middle of it. Maybe these don't rotate. It's okay. Anything with this grip. Here's what I mean. Look at the way my hands are positioned. That's the exact position you were just in with the cables. Only now I'm fixed to a bar. This is an anatomy chart. Follow me. I flex, I flex, I turn, I grab. That's my position. Pull. If I was to do a pull-up, I'd pull. I wouldn't do this. Okay, that's old school and ridiculous. That's also external rotation. Get away from those straight bars, externally rotated and pull. The only reason we do those is because the way the manufacturer made the bar and did not did their homework on the anatomical position of what the wrist, elbow, and shoulder joint do, okay, have a relationship with the latissimus on a diagonal aspect, how that lat wants to depress the shoulder blades. It doesn't want to go through shoulder impingement, which is over here. Okay, follow me. You could pull here. Let's just assume you have this kind of grip. You get in your machine. Sit back as far as you possibly can in the bench, so the pulley is in front of you, not underneath you. And do the same motion. Draw the shoulder blades down, followed by the elbow. Hold. Do you notice how I'm not pulling the bar to my chest? This is incorrect. It's so wrong. Look at my elbow going back. Now it's in line with the cable. That's called opposition or load lines. I want to make sure I stay in line with the fiber direction of what it wants to do. The shoulder blade wants to depress. Shoulder blade depresses, followed by my elbows, hold. You might notice that the bar never goes below your chin. Shoulder blades, elbows, hold. Now, let's just say that you don't have a bar like this. Let's say there is a straight bar in the room. Okay, now your straight bars might not look like this. Your straight bar might have a little bend here where it comes across and bends and they grab the end. Here's what I want you to do. 1, 2. Look at that grip. Now don't get confused. You're not going to be pulling this way. Watch what I do. I take a medium grip. Okay, my elbows are what? 90 degrees, right? They're 90 degrees. They're in a perfect L. I come in to the machine. This machine has no pads in front of me. I designed it this way myself So I'm just going to hold myself down onto the seat, but let's assume that there's roller pads. The new equipment has the roller pads. I'm going to drive my elbows down, but look, I'm keeping them in. See how I'm not back here, like your typical lat pull? I'm keeping them in. Slow, draw, hold. Notice my arms are in. You see the difference? Versus being externally rotated. I'm giving you the worst case scenario right now. This is the worst case scenario. Slow, controlled, hold. Slow, controlled, shoulder blades, elbows, hold. I'm giving you the worst case scenario. You don't have those bars that are closer. You use a straight bar, but when you grab the straight bar, you don't grab out here. Everything is inside. So from the side, this would be incorrect. From the side, this would be correct. Okay? Just a slight inward rotation. And that's the worst case scenario. I'm hoping you have something like this. Something that gives you the ability at your gym. Something that gives you the ability to have your hands in this position. Here. So when you pull, look where my arms are. They're no different than they were on that straight bar. You might see my wrist in a different position, but my elbows are the same. And that's going to be your last strength exercise that I want you to do 3 sets, 10 to 12. Okay, so if you look at all those movement patterns we just did, okay, it's really non-stop. There is no rest. You're just going through these patterns, and that's a Monday back workout. We're coming back for more. We're still on Monday. Don't get confused. Okay, just look at my body position for a minute. I have my feet about one foot apart. I have slight bends in my knees. If you were to look at me right now, you'd say, oh, your knees aren't bent. I have a very soft 5 degrees of elongation, almost a little less than riding a bike, where there'd be that little bend in your knee if you were sitting on the seat and one leg was straight. Look where my hands are. I'm going to turn to the side for a minute. Okay, we're going to call this ground zero, okay, or 0. Let's call it 0. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, we're going to call this a 5, okay? And we're going to take this 5 and we're going to obviously call this full moment arm or lever arm, about the same, not really, but for conversation. Call this a 10, 5, 0, 5, 10, okay? 0, 10, 5. Okay, remember that. Every once in a while I throw in a little bit of a core stimulus just to kind of activate some intrinsic muscles that do not move joints, okay? There's muscles that do not. So core, the real definition of core are about 29 muscles in the body that do not move joints. They do not expand over a certain number of joints. They kind of connect block to block, and their role is basically to create a solid platform or a foundation for everything else to move around. Don't get confused. So abs are not core, low back is not core. It's very, very deep inside, close to the spine, all muscles, like an apple core. Think of it. You bite the apple away and what's left? The core. So it's marketing and promotion and propaganda that brought the wrong definition of core into the industry because you're trying to sell a product. So they call it train your core. But this is true core. I have a tube hooked up straight across. You can see the hookup. Listen, if you have one of these, if there's one in the gym, tie it anywhere, level with your waistline. Now I'm holding this as tight as I can. I don't want this to move. Okay, now right now on a level of 1 to 10, I'm in my 5 position, not my 0. I'm in my 5 position, not my 10, my 5 position, and I'm slowly going to try to move one step without moving my body. I'm slowly going to take this picture and just bring it over a foot without moving my body. So what's not happening? It's not pulling me. I'm not shifting my arms. I'm not releasing. I'm holding as tight as I can. So here I am. My feet are straight across the whole time. I'm not walking out like a duck. I'm not leaning to one side. If you were to take a snapshot of me, nothing would ever change. I'm walking. Nothing would ever change in my 5. I'm in my 5. Not my 0, not my 10, my 5. Nothing would ever change. Nothing would ever change. Nothing would ever change. Now it's really pulling me, so I want to make sure I hold this position. Okay, so what's happening internally? Internally I have a lot of what? Joints, trying to stabilize, okay? What's not moving the joints? This time I'm going to say it that way, confuse you. Muscles, they're stabilizing intersegmentally. I don't have muscles moving joints. If I did, you'd see motion. I have muscles stabilizing joints, core muscles. So I'm going to hold this position. And that's about as far as I can go before I think it's going to pull me. And what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to switch positions and hold it in that 10, level 10 as far as tightness, but I'm still in my 5 position. And I'm just going to walk. In my 5 position, and I'm going to walk. And I'm going to walk. And I'm going to walk. And all of a sudden I'm saying to myself, I don't really feel it anymore. It's kind of loose, so I'm going to stop there. So in these positionings, I'm going to say this is my starting position. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's getting intense. Get a little more intense. That's about it. Okay, that's my finish position. I'm going to hold that posture. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Oh, that volume knob is starting to come down. It's getting a little too easy. I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Walking, walking, walking. Switch. Walking, walking, walking. Now, midstream. Can I hold my 10? Oh, let's bring it back to a 5. Can I hold my 10? Bring my feet a little closer together. Bring it back to a 5. Hold my 10. Bring it back to a 5. Walk out. Hold my 10. Hold my 10. Hold my 10. Switch. Hold my 5. Stabilize. Strong posture. 10, 5, walk. 10, 5, walk. 10, 5, walk. 10, 5, walk. 10, 5, switch. 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5. So, what are we doing? Okay, see that? You get winded. Okay, the bottom line is, this is engaging muscles on an intersegmental level that are responsible for strengthening internally, use the word core if you will, okay, by challenging these muscles and putting them in different environments like we just did, with different forms of resistance profiles. How do we explain that? These are different resistance profiles. I'm walking, I'm moving, I'm trying to stay in a perfect posture. This is going to basically strengthen muscles. So now everything I do from here is going to get easier and better. So when you're going through an exercise and you feel like you're fatigued, you feel like you're losing your form on the last 3 reps, okay, or you're out on a run and you're getting fatigued, these small little exercises that I'm about to show you are going to enhance your structure that equates to your function outside the gym, okay? What's everything that's important, right? We don't live in the gym. We're just preparing ourselves to get ready for all these other events that we're doing. We're going to keep going. The next exercise, as soon as you put that tube down, you don't have to do the tube, I'm throwing it at you, is I'm going to lay down anywhere on a mat. I have 2 small dumbbells. They're extremely light, 5 pounds. You want to use 3, that's fine too. I'm going to lay down with a slight bend in my knees, just like this. Okay? And what I'd like to do is keep one hand down, and I'd like you just to sit up for a minute. Okay? If you can't do that, let's not do this exercise right now. So I'm going to lay back down. I'm going to put one hand on the ground, and I'm just going to ask you to sit up for a minute. And when you do so, I'm going to ask you to bring that dumbbell, and I had my hand in the wrong position, I apologize. I want your thumb back, like you're hitchhiking. Thumb is going back. That's going to open up your shoulder joint. So here I am, I'm dropping down. Look at the bend in my knees, no more than that. And I'm just going to ask you to push the dumbbell to the ceiling, lift the chest, and just sit up. And just sit up. But don't call this a sit-up, because it's not. I just want you to lift. And just lift. I just switched hands. And lift. And lift. And lift. And lift. And lift. And lift. And as soon as you get done, let's say you did 5 on each side, 6 on each side, it doesn't matter. Listen, you did 1 on each side, okay? If you did more, that's great, because the next time you work out, you're going to do 2 on each side, 3 on each side, until you could get up to 10 on each side. As soon as you finish, feet under your knees, hands along your side. Go right into a bridge. Hold the bridge. Do 10, 9, slow, 8. Now, the pressure is not on my toes. Stay through your ankle and just do these bridges, slow and strict. Head stays flat. You're just lifting your hips. Hold the position. Drop. Turn to the side. And come right up. You're going to do 2 sets of those. Think about it. If you had the tube, you did your tube exercise. Remember, there's no rest between this. As soon as you drop that tube, and you're probably asking, how many times do I walk back and forth? Okay, so let's say you walk out and walk back with the tube exercise. I should have said that to you. At least 4 times, where you're walking out, walking back, playing with different forms of resistance profiles, 10, 5, etc. Put that down, grab these light dumbbells, sit up each side, do the bridge. Forget the tube, you're done with the tube. This particular exercise movement pattern that you just saw, I want you to do twice. So you're sitting up twice, you're doing 2 bridges. As soon as you put that down, you're coming over here. And you're going into what's called the dead bug. Okay? These are just crazy names that the fitness industry gives movement patterns. I could call it anything I want. Call it an abdominal hold, or an abdominal contraction, or abdominal stabilization movement pattern. Probably sounds a little better. You're going to have to find your center. So somehow, some way, you're going to have to find yourself in this position. Now, you might put yourself up here and fall forward. That means you have to go back a little. You might feel like you're going to fall back. The best way to get in here is this. I'm laying here on the bench. I bring one leg up. I do one, what you might call a crunch. Don't call it a crunch, but you might just have one crunch. Hold that position. Hold the bench. Bring your leg up and try to balance. Right now, I'm doing whatever I can, humanly possible, to keep this shortened. I'm keeping this area, my rectus abdominis, flat area, I'm keeping it shortened. I'm holding this posture, keeping this shortened. I can't let this happen. I can't let that, see? I have to keep it short. Pulling my knees in, pointing to the ceiling. Right here. My chin is tucked. I don't feel this on my neck yet, but if I do, I'll just put my fingertips behind my ears and support myself. And I'm holding this position. And right now, you're going to feel a tremor in your abdomen region. It's going to start to burn. Okay, your body right now, when you talk about physics, your body right now has gone through probably 100 crunches without the disc herniation. Hold the posture. Hold the posture. Hold the posture. To come out, drop a leg, and rock forward. Now, I showed you the easy version of this. If that's fairly easy for you and you could get in there and hold that posture and you're trembling and this and that, then you could just do 3 sets. And between these sets, you're going to do the hip thrust. I'm not going to get off track for a minute. Between those sets, I would not be standing here right now. I'm explaining right now. You're going to do hip thrusts. But I want to show you other versions of this particular dead bug or stability hold for your abdomen region. If you're here and you find your center and you're playing balance and you got it and you're holding, now this is your easiest posture right here. Why? Look where my arms are. This is a little harder. This is even harder. This is even harder. Harder, long levers. Harder, long levers. The hardest, long levers. So, listen, there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no black, there's no white. In fitness, all we're doing is putting our body in specific positions, okay, postures, and creating tension in a region, okay, and our body will adapt to that and become stronger to that. So these are progressions, I started you in the easiest form, okay? And then I said to move your limbs. So follow that pattern, and it could be half of that. When I say lever arms, you could just move this much versus this much, and that would be your 10, which this much is my 10. Your body will adapt over time. Now, in between those dead bugs, let's take it right back to the beginning. This is the first time you balanced. Everything is cool. You're here. You just stayed here, and you held that posture, and you're trembling. And you're, oh my God, I can only hold it 5-10 seconds. You drop, get into position. You've done these before, and go right into your hip thrust. Right into your hip thrust. Right into your hip thrust. As soon as you finish your hip thrust, literally, rock, 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 rock. Dead bug. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, lever arms, whatever you did. Hold, hold, drop, hip thrust, hip thrust, hip thrust, rock, rock, dead bug. Okay, do you get it? Non-stop, 3 sets. Dead bug, hip thrust, dead bug, hip thrust, dead bug, hip thrust. Okay, that is day 1. No, scratch that. That is Monday. You're going to see Monday on your screen. That's your Monday workout at the gym. We're going to be right back. We're going to do Tuesday, very light workout. You're going to laugh at this, okay, but it's going to be very effective. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, this is Tuesday. Tuesday's a light day. We've decided that Tuesday is going to be done at home. Okay, so here's what we're going to need. Tubing. I know you've seen it. Okay, the tubing that you purchase online, just the resistance tubing, you've seen tons of this. Okay, just go on Amazon, different forms of resistance. If you remind me, I could actually send you some links to the actual ones you should purchase. They're not expensive, $10, $12 a pair. You could buy them at any sports authority store, any type of Models. I don't know where you shop. There might be a local sporting goods store. But you do want different varieties. There's green, there's red, there's blue, there's yellow, and the coefficient, or how they become elastic to plastic, will change and variance of their thickness. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quick bicep, tricep workout. Now, what have I done before Tuesday? Well, I warmed up, didn't I? I did a little jumping. And after that jumping, depending on what you have at home, you have a bike at home, you have a treadmill at home. I don't know if I asked you all this. The bottom line is, once you start to break a little sweat, could be 8 minutes, okay, you're going to go over and do what? You're going to do that hamstring stretch. Listen, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you. You're a runner, you're doing a lot of things. We're going to stretch your hip out a little bit. You're flexing forward with your hands behind your back. You're pulling that arrow. You remember that. Opposite side, you're flexing forward a little bit. You're drawing that arrow back. You're holding that level of tightness. Okay, so bottom line, this is a hamstring stretch. Notice I did not flex from my spine. In the old school days, people used to say, oh, can you touch your toes? Well, touching your toes has nothing to do with your hamstrings. Fact is, when you touch your toes, you disrupt length-tension relationships in the hamstring, in the leg, and you make it worse, and you decrease your range of motion of your hamstring. Why? Because when I flex forward and touch my toes, my hamstrings have to fire. When they fire, they shorten. Wasn't the goal to lengthen the hamstring? Because they're trying to balance me in this awkward, three-dimensional, unstable environment. So, if you're going to do any type of stretch where you want to reach down like that, take an external sense of stability, a wall. Put your butt against the wall. Then, now the wall is holding you in place, and you can slowly elongate and hold that position. However, if you want the best of the best, use the wall, put your hands behind your back, and never, ever bend your spine. That's a hamstring stretch. This is a spine stretch. Hamstring, spine. Okay, so remember the difference in think analytically between the two. Which one do you want to do? I would suggest this one. Flexing forward and pulling. Okay, now remember also the one on the incline bench that we did. Refer back to that. I'd like you to do that quad stretch and that hamstring stretch before every single workout. Day 2. Well, first thing we're going to do is, if you have a bench at home, that would be great. If not, you could do it standing. but we're going to do your basic bicep curl. I'm going to show you the kneeling posture first. Why is it so important to do the kneeling posture for you? What I'm trying to do is decrease what's called exit entry. Right now, my body is tricked. I'm tricking the system. It thinks that my knees are my feet. So I only have the distance between the articulating joints, the shoulder, and the knee joint. Okay, so here I am, and I don't have to worry about balancing from the knee down. I'm acting as if I'm looking over a cliff. This is a cliff, and I'm looking down the cliff. So I'm not upright like this. I want to be able to see over the cliff. So I have to flex my hip a little bit. Then I'm going to bring my head up. And then I'm going to grab 2 dumbbells and hold them palm out the entire time. The only reason why we turn the dumbbells is because when we made and created a dumbbell, we made it long. Okay? So everyone thought to get it down to their side, they'd hit their leg. So they turned it in. So this turn is nothing magical. This is what people do. I don't want you to do that. I want you to hold your palm up the whole time. Because in a in a supinated position with your palm up, the bicep shines 100%. As soon as I drop and turn my hand to the side in a semi-pronated position, like I'm shaking someone's hand, the bicep defaults, takes a back seat, and the brachioradialis, the forearm, takes over. What is our goal? Bicep curls. We'll do something for the forearm later. But right now, bicep curl, slightly bent. Nothing moves but the elbow joint itself. Notice that. Look around the gym when you're doing this. You're going to see this, rocking, pulling. You're going to see flexing because they have to flex the shoulder joint to get the load up. Here's what you're going to do. Flex, 2, 3, 4. Flex, 2, 3, 4. Flex, 2, 3, 4. Now you're starting to fatigue. You're on rep 6 or 7. You're starting to fatigue. What are you going to do? You're going to let them down slowly. You're not going to lose your posture. You're going to rest one, and then one comes up. This left one has the ability to now rest as I move through a range of motion into a bilateral or single arm, but I keep the exercise going. How many reps? I don't know. How many reps can you do? There's certain exercises that I don't really count reps. Okay, we could put a number on it if you wish. I'd just like you to go to fatigue on your first set. That's all I ask. Okay, you'll know when to stop. Okay, now I just got a burst of energy. I think I'll do them together again. Do you understand elbow flexion is elbow flexion? There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no black, there's no white. You're flexing the elbow, shortening the bicep, giving it enough stimulus during its eccentric contraction. There's your heaviest point right there. There's your lightest point. That's 0. Okay, so let's just assume I did 5 or 6. I started to fatigue. Then I did some singles. Got a burst of energy. I did a couple more. And I put it down my first set. With that in mind, we're going to do what's called agonist-antagonist. Okay, opposing muscle groups. So I'm going to have you train bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep. You're right here, you're on the bench. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the edge of the bench. This is incorrect. Posture's way off. My butt's in the air, I'm not in a plank position, and look at my wrist. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the edge of the bench, which will straighten my wrist out. I'm then going to get in that plank position. So instead of being here, flat-footed with my butt in the air, trying to do a press, I'm going to be in that perfect straight plank. Okay? Now, I don't know your strength levels, so I'm going to start you at first grade. And here we go. Get in this position for me. Press yourself up. Remember, I didn't do this. This is a push-up. From the side at all times, you're going to look like this. From the side at all times. Your arms will never come out. This is triceps. Okay? Tricep extension. You're in this position. Press yourself up. Step 1. Now, get in this position. Look at the way my head is right now. Incorrect. Come up into a perfect posture. Press yourself up. Come down and rest. Press yourself up. If you feel strong in this position, here's what I want it to look like. 1, 2. Now, at home you might have a yoga block. If you don't, I would suggest to pick one up because they're only about $4. There's a place called Odd Lot, or some kind of a discount house. You see these everywhere. They're like $3, $4. Buy them online. They're $8. But the bottom line is, now we can use this and limit our range of motion or something. You could roll up a towel, a couple books. But the bottom line is, we could use this as a reference guide. Maybe you're really strong and your form is perfect in this range. Absolutely flawless. But when you go deeper than that, okay, that's when you kind of run into a problem and you're just not as effective or optimal. So we regress, and we're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I come up. My 2 dumbbells were sitting there. I grab them. I go on the bench. I do my curls. There is no rest between these. 2, 3. Slow, controlled, rhythmic, under my active control. Going through these motions slowly, making it effective. I'm fatiguing. Do you notice if you look at my shoulder joint, my elbow joint, my hip joint where you're looking at now, right now, look at my hip joint where my belt line is, right here. You notice nothing ever moves? I'm a statue, and the only thing you really see moving is my elbow joint. Okay, the bicep curl. I put them down. I go right into the position, block or no block. Straight, perfect form, bend the elbow. Here's incorrect. I'm bending from the shoulder blade. Look how ugly that is. Okay? I'm letting my shoulder blades collapse. I'm letting my back sway. I'm looking up. Straight, bend the elbow, push the belly button away. Bend the elbow, push the belly button away. Bend the elbow, push the belly button away. That's too easy. 1, 2, 3, etc. How many? 10 to 12. 10 to 12. So here it is. I start by kneeling on the bench. I do my bicep curls. Let's say I did 10, 12 repetitions. I put those down. I immediately grab the bench, on the edge of the bench, and I do my 10 to 12 presses. But guess what? Maybe I got 6. So I immediately stop, and I go back, and I do 10 to 12 bicep curls. And another 6 tricep. Remember, no right or wrong. Progression. You will be doing 10 to 12 30 days from now. Maybe you're doing 10 to 12 day 1. I don't know your strength levels. So we're going to do that 4 times. Bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, 4 times. Now, when we get done with that, we're going to regress a little bit. Look at the floor for a minute. In front of me, I have a red tube with an anchor point. Picture anything you could throw this around. Doesn't matter. Something low to the ground. I have a red tube and a green tube. The green tube is directly underneath me. 2 hand grips, I put them together. The green tube is directly underneath me. So that's in basically direct opposition of my pull. The red tube is coming out in front of me, which is in direct opposition at my end range, my high point. Now, do you remember, if you just rewind back a little bit in this video, I said that the dumbbell high was easy. This is mid-range, your hardest, and then that was 0. Look what I did with the red tube. I changed the direction of resistance Very cool. So as I come up into my bicep curl, there's a role reversal. At the top end, the red tube takes over. And it's giving me proper opposition. So this is as close as we could get to the dumbbell. Is it as effective as the dumbbell? No way. Is it as effective? No, it is not. Is it beneficial? Extremely. Especially the way we set this up. Okay? So you're getting a little bit of magical education right here on how we set up the line or the load of resistance. We have determined the resistance profile of how a tube should be set up. You're not going to see this in textbooks, and you're not going to see this in YouTube. Okay, so we have done the research and shows that at this end, that red tube being bigger, stronger, more pull, is giving me the resistance I need at the top end where a dumbbell does not. So here I am going through the exercise. 1, I can stand closer. 2, and you're going to do this exercise. 3, slow and controlled. 4, you're starting to fatigue. What do? Single, 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 together, together, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You just decided to hold. I didn't tell you to do that. You decided to hold mid-range. That's how a workout becomes creative. Okay, you feel good, you're going through the motions, and you want to just add that extra strength segment to your repetition range. So what I did now is I set up the tubing. That's one exercise. You've already finished the other stuff. You're going to go right to a mat. Right to the floor. Extremely limited. Watch this. This is a tricep move. Overall power, strength, and also core. This is a straight arm plank. You did this in the beginning with your back workout. And I told you to very gingerly, I did it for a reason, just drop your knees. Now I'm here. And I press off my knees. And I press off my knees. This is incorrect. You see this all the time. It's comical. This is incorrect. Okay? Straighten that out. This is incorrect. Straighten that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You go from the tubing to this. Non-stop, 3 sets. Non-stop, 3 sets. I can't say that harder or more with more serious connotations. Tubing, press, tubing, press, tubing, press. Absolutely no rest. Now, if your strength levels are higher and exceed the expectations of what I thought based on our conversations, you can do it like this. This is the step up. This is the progression. This is the toughest. This is the progression. My hand positioning is here. This is incorrect. Look at my elbows. Keep everything inside, tight. Keep everything inside, tight. Watch what I do. Follow me. This is the top, okay? I take the eccentric in a straight-legged position, slow as I can. At the bottom, I drop my knees, press up. Back to the straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop the knees, press up. Straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop the knees, press up. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop the knees, press up. Up. 2, 3, 4. Drop the knees, press up. Straight. Take the resistance on the way down. Drop the knees, press up. Take the resistance, straight plank position. Drop the knees, press up. That's the progression. Okay? So when you start off like this, okay, you could be laughing at home watching this, saying, well, that's too easy. So go to that second level. The bottom line is you're doing a tricep press. Literally, you finish that, you stand up, you grab your 2 cables, 1 foot, dead center, hand grips. Grab the other hand grip. Grab the other hand grip. That hand grip is in front of you, attached to anything. And you stand there, and you do your pulls. Pull. Pull. You're doing your bicep curls. Pull. I'm starting to fatigue. Single. 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 I caught myself turning my wrist. Single. It's a habit, isn't it? Single. Together. I just felt like holding. There's no rhyme or reason. Static position, hold, 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 and release. What do I do next? Tricep. 3 sets. So remember, isn't it cool that everything is just like in one area? You're right here. You could take this to the gym too. They might have some tubes, dumbbells, bench. You feel like whipping to the gym, doing a little warm-up, doing this little tricep, bicep workout, that's fine. You don't have time that day, you're home, you do that. I'm a little winded, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to come right back and we're going to do Wednesday. Wednesday is back in the gym. We'll be right back. Today is Wednesday. You're going to see a blue screen. Right before you watching me right now, you saw a blue screen that said Wednesday. And Wednesday is back in the gym now. So we have this, I'm taking a chance. You have this free motion machine. I brought the pulleys down level with my arms here. Okay? And I have these straight out, and they're exactly the same distance apart. They are straight from the machine. So it looks like this if you're facing the machine. It's not out here, it's not up here, straight out. These 2 pulleys, 2 hand grips. Again, you have to set the weight accordingly. I am going to do a chest and shoulder routine with you right now. What did you do prior to this? Well, you warmed up. You did some jump rope. You stretched your hamstrings. You did a little quad stretch. Okay, make that the appetizer or the starter of every single workout program. I'm going to show you a series of different movements that work the posterior shoulder girdle muscles. Why? Because I don't want to ever start with a chest movement that's going to protract your shoulder girdle. Here you are running, protracted. Okay, you're doing exercises throughout the day. You're cooking at home. You're on the computer. You're reading. You're texting. You're driving. Everything is protracted shoulder girdle. We sit on our spines all day and create all these imbalances. So when we enter the gym on Wednesday, we're going to do scapular retraction. My arms are by my side here. Water runs down my arms. First position. I go to 90 degrees of elbow flexion. This is correct. This is incorrect. This is correct. This is incorrect. This is correct. Keep everything down. Water runs down my arm, right here. Okay? Water sits on my arm, right here. Incorrect. I grab the 2 grips. I walk back. I put myself in that athletic position. My arms are straight out. I draw my shoulder blades and elbows back. Did you notice I didn't say anything about my hands? I come forward, but I don't go all the way forward. Look at the bend in my elbows. Okay, look at the bend in my elbows. I don't straighten them out. Keep a nice bend in the elbow, a level of tension. The resistance profile is 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, pause. I drive my shoulder blades and elbows back slowly, followed by my hands. Let me get to my point. Dave, pull with your hands. Look what happened. I concentrated so much on the aspect of pulling with the hand that my fist migrated into my chest or my shoulder versus staying 90 degrees where I wanted it the whole time. So, elbows back, elbows back, elbows back. See the water run down my... This is incorrect. This is incorrect. Elbows back. Water runs down. Hold. Water runs down. Hold. We're going to progress. I'm going into the weights, and I'm going to have to reduce them tremendously based on the elbow being bent. Force load, okay, or the direction of resistance or the angle or the profile is coming out of my elbow here. Okay, so basically the wrist and elbow are in line with each other. I'm really strong in this position. Now I'm going to enhance the moment arm. So when I enhance the moment arm by bringing it out and sending it away from the joint, the articulating joint, it's going to be a lot heavier. Here's the motion and position I'm going to do. It looks like a fly, doesn't it? Draw. 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 Notice my hands don't go close together because I don't want to go into a risky position and I don't want to lose the resistance. My starting position is here. Now, look at my hand position. It's not here, typical. Typical, like I'm doing a fly, I'm holding it. I'm going to be a little inverted V. Watch what I do with my hands. I'm going to angle them. See that? I'm standing here. I don't let this go forward. I don't let these cross. I start in an open position. I draw my shoulder blades back and I hold. Slow. So picture my body right now standing in the center of a wooden table. I cut a hole in the table as if my torso is the umbrella. I'm standing in the center of the table. I cut a hole, and here's the tabletop all around me. Okay, the tabletop is all around me. And I put my arms on the tabletop, and I slide them back. And I come forward. And I slide them back. And I come forward. Okay, picture that position, or that motion, with the long lever arm. I slide them back on the tabletop, I come forward. Slide them back, I come forward. Now, if they have this machine, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to go back as far as you possibly can, or the environment allows you. I could go back a lot further. Unfortunately, I have this pole behind me. You're going to do 2 reps. 1, 2, walk forward. 1 inch. 1, 2, walk forward. A couple inches. 1, 2, walk forward. I'm starting to fatigue. 1, 2, hold the position, walk all the way in close to the pulleys, hold the position, and release. When you first approach this machine, I told you to do it in a bent arm fashion, your strongest position. Your arms were 90 degrees of elbow flexion, and you pulled along that shelf. You did a set of 10, let's say. You immediately went over to the machine, you took the weight down a little bit. You took it to the next level and you tried to progress. Maybe you did or you did not engage with that. Maybe you didn't want to do this wide one. Maybe you felt a shoulder pain in the wide motion. I'm giving you 2 options. Okay, 2 options. You can do it this way, the entire 4 sets if you wish. You could do it this way, the entire 4 sets. I'm giving the option. In a perfect world, the best thing you could do, set here, a set here, a set here, and a set here. So you go, call this short lever, long lever, short lever, long lever, short lever, long lever. 4 sets. Now, I want you to stick with just these 4 sets. I'm really trying to engage everything responsible for shoulder retraction. It's called on a concentric level. Everything postural, everything upper back. Okay, I really want that to kick in and engage and stimulate. That's what I'm trying to do, is increase that volume in the upper postural muscles of the upper shoulder girdle. So we're just going to stick just with that. As soon as you get done with that, literally get done with that. Get done with that, those 4 exercises, whether it's short lever arm, long lever arm. Do you remember that rope we did on Monday for the back movement, where you were driving your arms down, your fists reach your hip, you get the ability, mechanical ability to retract? Take that rope. Don't look at all this fancy stuff. This is a different rope. Just picture this rope with a hook. Bottom line is the ability to attach it. You're going to attach it to the cable machine. The cable machine is just a little bit above the knee. Here, let me say it a better way. When you walk back from that cable machine, that pulley is kind of the same height as your wrist. How's that? Okay? These are assuming, I am assuming right now you have adjustable pulleys. Listen, this pulley could be on a bar coming straight down from the ceiling, a big cable station where you pull the pin or pull the knob and you can slide it up and down. You've seen it 1,000 times. Just bring it down. It doesn't matter. Don't look at the machine. Concentrate. I have a pulley I could adjust it here. That's your thought process. Trying to make this simple for you. This is your second exercise as soon as you complete those 4 exercises, okay, on Wednesday in the gym. I start here. Okay? If I look down, I don't see my hands. That means my arms can't come forward. Let me explain that again. I have the grips. I start here. I draw. I draw. I draw. Do not let this happen. Do not let it come forward and then pull and come forward and start here. Pull. Pull. Not a big movement, right? It's the range of motion of your shoulder joint. Look. That's all I have. You might have a little more, but that's all I have before I internally rotate and flex forward. This is the entire motion you're going to do. Straight back, straight back, straight back. Nothing moves. There's a saying in fitness, especially if you're going to do things correctly, where you start is where you stay. Okay, now this is primarily a tricep movement, believe it or not. The pathology behind this is where the kickback started. I'm not going to get into kickbacks. We don't do kickbacks because they don't work the tricep. I'll get into that later. We can do that in person or on the phone. But the bottom line is, this is the exercise. You do as many as you possibly can. There is no number here. Did you notice I didn't say so many sets? I just want you to do this exercise. Okay, you're only doing 1 set. I want you to go to total fatigue. It doesn't matter. I could be 101, 102. All right, it doesn't matter. I want you to do as many humanly possible. Make it challenging. Don't throw 1 plate on there. Believe it or not, that was 5 plates. So you might be at 3 plates, and you might do 50 repetitions. Okay, just 1 set only. As soon as you finish that, you're going to immediately pick up 2 light dumbbells. Now, with the 2 light dumbbells, I'm walking around here trying to get my opposition stick so you understand ranges of motion. You could do this seated. Look, you're texting me right now. This is you on my phone because I just asked you a question about the TRX. Okay, they have them at your gym classes. How's this for a custom video? Okay, so there's your text. Okay, they have straps locked up. Want me to ask the guy if you could use them? Oh, that'll be fun. Okay, don't worry about that. I'm just trying to think of some creative ways that you can use the TRX with some postural movements, but I'm going to say X-nay on the TRX, especially if he's going to pull them out for you. It just creates more of a hassle, and I don't want anybody showing you the wrong technique. When you talk about water running down the arm, we're on shoulders right now. Here's what I mean by water running down the arm. In this position, obviously water can run down my arm. Okay? And obviously, in this position, it cannot. So when we talk about shoulder impingement, or when when you have 2 bony structures with a soft structure in between, who wins? All right? The 2 bony structures. When we do a side raise, we have to end up in this position. Okay? We can't be here. Now I know for a fact, I'll bet my livelihood on this, that when you go to the gym on Monday and Wednesdays, you're going to see this. Okay? All this, and you're going to see this. And it's comical. Maybe not to you, but it's comical. Trust me. So what I'd like to see you do is put a slight bend in your elbows, number 1. The second thing I'd like to see you do is get these dumbbells away from your side, okay? Put a nice space between your bicep and your side. And hold this posture. And hold that athletic posture. And what I want you to see is I want you to start to lift your elbows away. Did you notice how I said lift your elbows? If I lift the dumbbell, look what happens. My elbow drops. If I lift my elbow, look what happens. There's a string coming out of the ceiling, pulling my elbow up. There's a string coming out of the ceiling, pulling my elbow up from here. This is just an extension off my extremity, so don't think about the dumbbell. Now, hand positioning. There's a lot to go over here. I get it. Bear with me. Hand positioning from the side. No. Yes. Very slight. So subtle. It's sitting on a shelf. I'm taking just the front of the dumbbell off the shelf a little. So there it is. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror to get perfect posture for you. Slow, controlled, pause. Look at that. Is there a big movement here? Absolutely not. Is there 100% of the deltoid that AB ducts the humerus? 100%. Okay? Is this a waste of time? Yes. Is this a waste of time? Yes. But look, we're going to stay in the optimal range for a side raise. Look at the bend in my elbow. It never changes. Never changes. Never changes. Okay? Never changes. Slow, rhythmic, controlled. You see me doing different movement patterns. Is that wrong? Absolutely not. Don't get confused, please. You're going to do 10 to 12 reps just like this. But guess what? You decided to kneel and do this. Very cool. Nice choice. You see what I mean by no right or wrong? I'm going to be stronger in this position. Now, how do we set it up? You remember we did this, then we did this, then we did this. You immediately go to this, and you do 3 sets of 12 repetitions. 3 sets of 12. And as soon as you put that down, we'll be right back. We're back, and we're Wednesday. We're still at the gym. All right, so on that Wednesday, if you remember the beginning of our shoulder workout prior to what I'm about to show you, look at this path of motion or this plane of motion we were in. And then I said, hey, it also looks like a fly. You're rubbing your arms against that table, pulling those tubes or those cables that are crossed, that shoulder movement, rear delts call it. This is the same exercise with the reverse. We're going to reverse the resistance now. So the opposition is coming from the opposite direction, so we're going to call this a chest press. The positioning is exactly the same. Water runs down my arm. I do this on purpose to show you what's going on internally, okay, forces underneath the skin which compromise an exercise. I bend the elbow. This looks like a chest press, doesn't it? Okay? We're going to get away from any straight bars and garbage like that. We're going to stick with cables and dumbbells. I'm going to do a light chest workout for you. Why? Because I don't feel that everyone has the need to do these heavy chest presses because of everything that we do during the day. I'd rather you have an amazing back, amazing shoulders, amazing arms, amazing butt, amazing legs, okay, and you're happy, okay, versus being all protracted. You've seen the women that stand and their shoulders are all rounded forward. We don't want that. We don't want that happening to you, especially if you're an athlete. Okay, so that's going to compromise your ability or skill set outside of the gym, which is most important. I set up again these cable machines. They might have machines here as well that the pulleys slide up and down. You could take that, mine do not. You could take that pulley, slide it down about shoulder level. Take the pulley, slide it down shoulder level. And you could do that same exercise. However, I am taking such a chance with you saying that you have something like this. By the way, it doesn't have to be made by Free Motion. Okay, there are tons of equipment companies that copied the originator, Roy Simonson, who designed this machine, okay, right after Ground Zero, because this machine was Ground Zero. And as soon as 9/11 hit, God bless, he immediately changed, literally within 1 week, changed the name of the company from Ground Zero to Free Motion. And they're out of Colorado. So he kind of started this and originated this machine. Look at the 2 pulleys. This transverse plane here, I set number 5. I know this is going to be correct for you. This transverse plane here, I set at number 5. Okay, this up and down arm, I see number 5. It is on 6, but I always go by what I see. When I say number 5, I see number 5. It's not really number 5. I like to say it that way so no one gets confused. I see the number 5. It's set at pin 6. It's in the hole of 6. I see the number 5. So I see 5 all around. I have 4 5s right here. How did I know that? I took my arms and I put them out like this, and each pulley is fingertip across. I'm going to grab these cables. I have set my weight. Here's how you enter a chest press machine and go through the motion. It's called horizontal shoulder adduction. I take it to a sling. Okay, this is the safest position in the human body. No matter what I do with this weight, I will never get hurt. It cannot pull on me. I take one sling, my right sling, and I bring it into my left sling. Now I have both hands in a sling. And look at this. All day long, I can rock back and forth. I will not get hurt, and there is no load. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly push this downward across my body. Look, there's no load here. It's amazing. When you feel this, you're going to laugh. I hold my hands together, and I just slide my hands down my leg like this. There's nothing going on, and then I lift. Okay? Now watch. I bring it back into a sling. I'm done. I enter the machine. I set it at 5. 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 I set my weights. Okay, very lightweight for me. I have number 13. Okay, you might be at number 7, number 8, number 6. I take the weight, which is 130 pounds. I bring it into a sling. I walk it over into my other sling. Here we go. You never get hurt. I put one foot forward and one foot back, my stability leg. I still don't feel anything pulling. Why? Because I'm in direct opposition. Look how I'm loaded. There's nothing going on. I'm just swinging back and forth. I do this for a reason. I don't want you to get hurt. Okay? Now, I just slide this down along my leg and bring it up. Now I better be strong. I'm in direct opposition. The cable, watch this, is part of my arm, my shoulder. The cable, again, there's that rotation, is part of my shoulder. It's not up, it's not down. Straight across. I'm leaning forward slightly. Show me from the side. Positioning. You want to be like this? That's cool. I'm happy. You want to be like this? That's fine. What leg do you want forward? Ask yourself. Guess what? You're going to know as soon as you do it. Okay? So, here I am. I slowly come back. Pause. Why do I pause? There's a brick wall behind me. I can't go any further. That's excessive range of motion on the shoulder joint or the glenohumeral joint. I press forward so my arms are straight. Slow. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Slow. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Pause. Now, maybe I switch. The bottom line is 1, 2. I go to midline every time. Midline, straighten that arm out. Midline, straighten that arm out. Last rep, I'm fatigued. Look, sling. 1, 2. Can't get hurt. You can never get hurt in a sling position. Doc, my arm hurts. Well, they put you in a sling. And there's a reason for that. Okay? So we're always going to be in our closed pack position. That's what it's called, the closed pack, a sling. Again, how many sets? You're going to do 3 sets of 12 repetitions. 3 sets of 12. You're coming in here. You're grabbing it in a sling. You're grabbing it in a sling. Sliding your arms down. Bringing it across. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Stabilize. Slow. Press. Slow. Press. Slow. Press. Slow. Press. What do I do between sets? Anywhere in the gym, have a tube. Bring a tube with you. Please bring a tube with you. Bring a tube with you, put it in a gym bag, roll it up, put it around your waist. Okay, tie a knot. It's a nice belt. Okay, you're there for a reason. You're working. Okay? What I want you to do between sets, you just did a chest set here on the cable machine. You could also stay close to the machine if you want, but if you have the availability, I want you to have a tube nearby, and I want you just to do a quick set of those rear delts. Remember, we did them in the beginning? Here's all I want you to do. Nice and easy. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. So here you are, you're in the gym. You have this light tube, very light. Don't think of it as a workout. You did your chest press. You take this tube off. You tie it somewhere to the machine. You're standing there. Keep your hands apart. Don't let them come together. Keep your hands apart. Keep your hands apart. Keep your hands apart. And you're just drawing your shoulder blades back. Drawing your shoulder blades back. If you have anything wider that you could put it around, I'm just thinking out loud here, anything wider you could put it around. If there's a machine nearby that you could put it around that's wider, and what I mean by that is anything that has a wider base. This has a wider base. Maybe there's a pin select machine here and something around the base where you can get it wider. So it's maybe this far apart when you're pulling rather than this far apart when you're pulling, if you understand that. Okay, I just want you to do a quick 10 repetitions with the tube in that position. As soon as you put the tube down, obviously you know what to do. You grab it in your sling position, you come out in front, and you do your presses. 3 sets. So, cable tube, cable tube, cable tube, cable tube, done. As soon as you put that down, you're going to the free weight area where there's dumbbells. Now, you're at the gym, so there are benches. And having a bench available for you is great. So you're going to basically take these 2 dumbbells of your choice. You're going to do 3 sets of 10 to 12, excuse me. You're going to have the dumbbells on the bench. And here's how you're going to approach it. You're going to be here. Okay, I don't want you picking these up off the floor. I want you to take them from the dumbbell rack and put them onto the bench. I don't know the kind of dumbbells they have there, but I'm assuming they're flat. They're not pretty silver bells like these. I don't think they're hex, but the bottom line is you can put them on the bench like this. You tip them, you turn. Now, you're standing in this position. You're going to put 1 on each knee, and as they're above your knees, you're sitting down. I will do this with 120 pounds. There's no load. It's the same analogy of sliding the hand grips down your thigh, getting ready for the chest press. Look, there's no load. I put them here. I sit down. There's no load coming down. It's the opposition of the direction of resistance through the joints as I'm holding here. Now what I want to do is get down flat on my back. I'm going to kick my legs up in the air as I bring the dumbbells up. Now, you're going to do them like this. Your feet are up. Do not cross your ankles. Just hold your feet up together. That same analogy of water running down, this is incorrect. This is correct. Keep that down so water can run down slowly. Pause. The bench is the floor. I can't go any further. This is incorrect. Okay? So, 1 correct rep. Slow. Pause. Press. Slow. Pause. Press. This is incorrect. What did I just do? Look at my legs. They fell. Bring them in. Press. Press. Slow. Pause. Press. On my last rep, the best way to get these down, watch this move. My arms are straight. I just come up and rock. Bottom line in this is when I sit up, I use momentum to help my body come up. Okay, do not let the dumbbells drop to the floor. That's the worst thing you can do. So we're going to do this chest press exercise on the bench, 3 sets, 10 to 12, and that's basically your chest workout. We'll be right back. This is Thursday. I apologize, you might hear some background noise. Our club just opened. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Here we go. We're going to go to Thursday. You're home right now, okay? So we have some tubing. We're going to have to definitely buy some tubing to do this correctly. So you have some tubing, and we're going to incorporate what's called multi-joint movements and or glycolytic movements. Now, this is going to increase cardiovascular respiratory system as well as burn a boatload of calories, tremendous amount of calories. And we're going to be touching upon certain exercises that we did on Monday as well, because you had that 2-day rest, Tuesday, Wednesday, today's Thursday. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you a little combination workout, a row and a straight arm pull. But I'm going to incorporate it with a squat pattern. A row with a straight arm pull incorporated with a squat pattern. All right? And as soon as I get done with that, we're going to do a series of jump squats. Now, you're going to laugh at my jump squats, but when you try them, you're going to understand how effective they are. Okay? So get your head out of the burpee. I don't even want to hear that word, burpee. So it doesn't even belong in the human body. So the bottom line is it might look like it, but it's not. So here's what we're going to do. There's a pattern going on here. I'm going to show you one set. You ready? I have to find some form of resistance. How far can I walk back? I don't want to feel like it's pulling me forward. Okay, so this is a different type of resistance. You're home. You set up these tubes. You have 2 tubes. They're equal. 2 tubes exactly the same. So you have to tie them up. So it's very simple to tie a tube anywhere. Anywhere you want. Take this, put it through, and just pull. And there's your contact point. These tubes come together, literally come together. Okay, I could send you a link how they actually come together. They're 2 in 1, and they come off the same anchor point, which would probably be a great investment. These are a little more expensive, but these things last me a good year with all my clients coming in here, and they're about $32. It's definitely worth the investment. Here's the pattern you're going to follow. Squat, pull, squat, straight arm. Squat, you've done both. You've done both. You did the straight arm with the rope, and you've done the pull. Squat, pull, squat, straight arm. Squat, pull. You always pull in your strongest position on the way up. Squat, pull. How do you pull? With just your arms, elbow flexion? No. You pull with your shoulder blades back, followed by your elbows. Straight arm pull. You're going to have to determine the position where the straight arm pull is always going to be heavier. So you have to find that happy medium. If you're way back here and your row is perfect, all of a sudden your straight arm pull, you're not going to be able to get it back. So figure out where you need to be so you can get that full range straight arm pull, row, pull, row, pull, row, pull, row. Okay? Towards the end, the last 5 reps, walk back and just complete the row. Just complete the row. Okay, how many did you do? 10, 15, 20. You're immediately going to come over to a surface. If it's a surface you have at home or it's a yoga mat, I suggest to stand on the mat. You get in your squat position and you come here in what's called an iron chair. And you're going to hold this position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to accelerate, jump, iron chair, jump, iron chair, jump, iron chair, jump. You don't see my hands up in the air going down, plaster my face to the ground, arching my back, looking up, landing on my toes, hence a burpee. Okay, iron chair, jump, iron chair, jump, iron chair, jump, iron chair, jump, jump. I'm eliminating momentum. That's my jump squat. I immediately go back here. I know you have this kind of wind. You're a runner. You go right back. Squat, row, squat, pull, squat, row, squat, pull, squat, row, squat, pull, squat, row, squat, pull. How many do you do? I don't know. How many do you do? Maybe 5 of each. Drop. Come over here. Iron chair. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Accelerate. Iron chair. Iron chair. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go back. Iron chair. Go back. Iron chair. 4 sets. Let's go over something. In a jump, this is incorrect. This is incorrect. I'm trying to stop myself. I need to be fluid. When I jump and land, I keep going. Look, if this is a squat, nice and smooth, rhythmic and controlled. If this is a squat, nothing changes in the jump. Look what I just did. I'm jumping. I'm still squatting. When I land, I continue to decelerate. Never hesitate. Always decelerate. Remember that buzzword, because you're going to really kill your knees. Okay, and it takes away and you deviate from the goal. So, we did the pull and the straight arm into the iron chair that we held for 10 seconds. Then we jumped. How many times did you jump? 10. Came over here. You did the squat with the pull and the straight arm to over there. And you went back. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Stop. We'll be right back. Here's the analogy. I have a sponge, and I'm not going to use the sponge. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what I'm trying to say. So I use an analogy with the sponge and my fingers. So think about the small of your back. Think about the apex of your back or the arch in your back. So if I lay flat, okay, and I put my legs down, I want you to do that for a minute. Just lay on the floor. Okay, remember we're still in Thursday. Put your legs on the floor, just rest by your side. You notice there'll be a small arch in your back. Okay, so you could ask your friend to stick their fingers underneath your back, or you could say, hey, can you fill the gap with that sponge? So I'm just going to roll over and put that sponge under the small of my back. And I'm going to pretend that that sponge is full of water. I'm going to bring my feet up. And then I'm going to cue you, or you're going to cue yourself because I'm not there. I'm going to say, can you just let all that water out of the sponge? So I just pressed the small of my back against that sponge. And what happened? Anatomically, what happened is I basically flattened my back out. I unfortunately, for the sake of the exercise, actually make my back a little weaker, but I'm engaging some muscles that I was not aware of. So a straight spine is a weak spine, but for the purpose of this exercise, because we're not loading the spine, it's okay. See, there's where you fall into that position. So here I am. I'm going to flatten that sponge out underneath the small of my back. So I'm going to remove the sponge for a minute, and I'm going to have that same analogy where I'm actually putting fingertips under my back, holding it tight. I'm going to bring my legs off the ground. I'm going to do one crunch. I don't like crunches. I don't like spinal flexion. I'm going to do one crunch and hold the position. So I'm going to do, during this entire exercise program I'm about to show you, we're going to train some of the core muscles now. I'm going to keep my abdomen, or the rib cage, as close to my hip as possible. Look, I'm clapping my hands together. I'm squeezing the water out of the sponge. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to stabilize my hands, fingertips on the ground, and I'm going to send the leg out. It's going to pull on the pelvis. That volume out of the sponge went from a 10 to a 1. That's not good. What do I have to do? I'm going to squeeze the sponge, tighten the core. I use the core, general speaking. I'm going to tighten the superficial muscles of the rectus abdominis, the abs, the six-pack abs. I'm going to tighten those to keep my position. I'm going to send the lever arm out. I'm going to draw that water out of the sponge and bring it back. I'm going to draw the water out of the sponge and bring it back. So this is the motion and the position that I'm going to go through. But guess what? You're saying to yourself right now, as I extend my leg out, I can't go full lever arm. My back arches. Okay, so we're going to draw, and we're just going to come halfway. And we're going to come halfway. And you're going to feel this tremendously in the abdomen, because right now, the slower I move, oh, my neck is hurting. I'm going to just hold the position, but I'm not going to lose the intensity here. Flatten the sponge. Keep the abdomen contracted. Send the lever arm out, my leg, the moment arm. Pull on the pelvis. Contract that sponge as my leg goes out. Flatten my back against my friend's fingers who are under the small of my back as my leg goes out. Because every time my leg goes out, every time it pulls on the pelvis wants to tilt. What do the abs have to do? Shorten and contract so you get full engagement of the rectus abdominis. This is the closest layer to the surface, okay, right under the fat, right under the epidermis, the water retention, the fat, the musculature of the abs, the six-pack abs. This is an excellent exercise to increase strength in the abdomen wall, as well as engage in more kinetic or neural activity, knowing how to contract the muscles that are responsible for stability of the hip. I'm disguising this a little bit for you. This is also a great hip exercise where you're actually strengthening the hip because you're not letting the pelvis, the right hip or the left hip tilt, because you're holding this contraction. So that's one of the first exercises you're going to do right out of the gate. This is Thursday. As soon as you're done with that, you're probably asking right now, how many times do I do this? No one can answer that question. How many times can you do it without sacrificing form? Maybe you could send each leg out 4 times, midway, not all the way, and you're getting an amazing workout. Next time 5 times, next time 6 times. Do whatever you can. You're going to immediately flip around into a plank and hold that plank. Hold that posture. Watch what I do with my knees. Right now I'm not feeling it in my abdomen at all. So I just drop the knee. Hold the position. Alright, I'm feeling good. I feel it in my abs. This is incorrect. Watch my head. This is incorrect. Watch my arms. Don't clasp your hands. This is incorrect. This is what you see in the gym. I could hold that all day. There's no abs in there. I'm looking for this. Totally different. Drop the knees. Hold the position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch this. One knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. You're not going to see this in any video. 4, 3, except yours. 2, 1. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm feeling it all in my belt line. I'm not feeling anything in my low back. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm feeling everything in my low back. Nothing in my belt line. Knees down. Ah, there's my abs. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is it? Seriously, what is it? We watch a video, we see something in a women's magazine, we watch this beautiful fitness model or this ripped cut men in Men's Fitness or In Shape magazine or whatever, and we see this perfect plank. Guy's got ripped abs. So what do? We copy that perfect plank. Full length, from toes to elbows. We don't understand where we're supposed to feel it. That's why I'm giving you the option. Do you drop your knees? You tell me. Do you want your legs up? Or do you want to switch from the knees down to the knees up? I love that. I love taking that volume knob and going to a 10, then going back to a 5. Then going to a 10, then going back to a 5. You're playing with lever arms. It is the easiest and safest and effective way to reach the optimal level of fitness by knowing your body and how to understand lever arms, link and support systems. That's what I'm teaching you. As soon as you're done with that plank, guess what you're doing? Right on your back, I have that sponge underneath me. I squeeze that sponge, I lift my legs, I do 1 crunch, I hold, I send that lever arm out. I send that lever arm out. Don't send it way out where it arches your back. Just send it out slow. And let me tell you something, the slower you move, you want to look ridiculous? Here it is. This is correct. I'm having a hard time with this. I'm not faking this. This is intense. I'm doing whatever I can to keep my abs tight. And I'm rocking and rolling, going into my plank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel good today. I'm dropping 1 knee. 3, 4, 5. Switch. 3, 4, 5. Feeling really good. 3, 4, 5. Starting to feel a little in my low back. Drop your knees. 2, 3, 4. Incorrect. 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 Correct. 3, 4, 5. But how long do I hold it? You're going to hear me say this throughout the whole video. I don't know, how long do you hold it? Because if you have some overzealous trainer standing in front of you or standing down like this and he has a stopwatch, I want you to kick the stopwatch out of his hand and say, "I'd like a refund," or "I'd like to see your manager." Because if anybody is timing a plank, that is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Think about that statement. I am timing a plank. I have no indication where she feels it. I have no indication her strength levels or where that volume is going. I don't know where it's trickling in the system. I haven't even asked the question, where do you feel it? All I'm doing is standing over with the stopwatch and saying, come on, 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds. Okay, so you are increasing so many postural imbalances, and you're not getting the benefits of the exercise. So that will translate into an injury in another move, because you're tightening muscles that are not part of the goal. I'm not yelling at you, just a little passionate of what I do. We'll be right back. This is very famous. I'm going to tell you a little something real quick. Somebody offered me $100 for this if I sign it and send it to them. I have about 200 videos on YouTube, and this stick became famous because I had it in every single video, and they wanted to know where I got it and how, the creative way that I use it. I didn't use it in your video. I think that you understand the body and you have pretty good body mechanics. But the bottom line is, it's just a funny thing. I'm known for my yellow stick. Home Depot, $5. Okay, so look, when you're at this position or in this position in a plank, being gingerly, okay, obviously this is incorrect. You need to be in that straight position. Okay, obviously this is incorrect. I need to be in that straight position. Okay, so any of this deviation outside of the perfect plank position, think of a plank as a plumb line, you're going to deviate from the goal. So, whether the knees are down, this is incorrect, or the legs are up. You want to make sure that we slide. Hello. Where'd you go? All right, this is funny. Where's my stick? Okay. All right, see the things that happen? We're not going to cut that out. Okay, so bottom line is you want to make sure in that plank position. Now, you're saying to yourself that these planks are pretty easy for you. So I'm going to take it to the next level. If you want to do this, fine. You need to open your base of support a little bit. That means your feet are a little wider. And if you're in this perfect plank and you can handle a position, I'd like you to reach out. I'd like you to think about a pool of water in front of you. You're going to reach out into that pool, test the water, and just say to yourself, oh, I want to reach out. I'm going 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 to reach out. Or maybe I'll just reach to the side. Okay, maybe I'll just reach to the side. And what you're trying to do in this is just, the best you can, is try not to shift too much. Okay, try not to shift your hips too much. Now, as you're reaching out, you got a 3 contact point. You have an elbow, right, and 2 feet, because one arm's coming out. So you're releasing contact with one arm. So as I'm here and I reach forward and come back, that 3 contact point could make your hips shift. If that happens, or you feel it in your low back, what does that tell you? It tells you you're not ready for this exercise. So just stick with the basic plank. Are the results going to be the same? Yes. What are we trying to do? We're trying to alleviate boredom. Okay, we're adding all these different motions and positions and challenging the body to stabilize intersegmentally by just playing with lever arms. You don't have to do this. Make it simple, keep it basic, and after you finish that plank series you saw, and you feel like you do not want to do the progressions, we're going to finish up with some light tricep. I want to make sure I hit your triceps twice. So you have the choice of doing the tricep again, real quick, you're home, it's Thursday, on the bench and the floor. So remember the position. You're here, and you're pressing up. Remember that. Or remember we progressed? This is Thursday now. Remember we progressed, we went straight, we went down slow, knees drop, press. Straight, we went down slow, knees drop, press. Straight, we went down slow, knees drop, press. Okay, do you remember that? Now, do you also remember where we had our hands on the bench? Go back to Tuesday, and you're going to see where we went kneeling bicep, and then we grabbed the bench, and we did that tricep press. You have the option of whether or not you want to do the bench and the floor, the bench and the floor. I'd like you to do a total of 6 sets tricep press. Do you want to do 3 on the bench, 3 on the floor? Do you want to do all 6 on the floor? Do you want to do all 6 on the bench? That is your last exercise of Thursday. And now when we get back, I'm going to give you the option of training on Friday or Saturday. Okay? It's Friday or Saturday. I'm going to go through a series of movements. You pick the day. It does not matter. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we're going to go over the lower extremity leg series. And this is a Friday or a Saturday. This is your choice. This is your video. So here's what we're going to do. We have a tube laying on the floor. Okay? Remember the links that I sent you, the Amazon links, that you're going to design this tube box. Okay, a box full of tubes, different coefficiencies. You're going to have red, yellow, green, blue, etc. So this tube is straight out, and I have the arch of my sneaker, and I'm going to step about 12 to 15 inches apart, right on that tube. Then I'm going to grab the opposite ends of that tube. Opposite hand, cross the tubes. Now if you have pockets, put your thumbs in your pockets. If you don't have pockets, what I'd like you to do is, if you flex your hip, I want you to drive your fist into your hip so they're sitting on your hip. Here's what happens. In the gyms and the fitness centers, you're going to see people like this that are just walking, pulling on the tubes. They're in session, so we have a lot going on here at Results Plus. You might hear a little noise in the background, but the bottom line is, I'm your trainer, so pay attention. Okay, here we go. My hands are in the crease of my hips. I do that for a reason. I want to alleviate any ability for myself to actually lift my shoulder blades. Now, I'm going to keep my feet in this position the entire time. I'm going to walk to the side. As I bring the other leg back with me, I don't want it to drag. So I'm going to lift it. I'm going to lift it. Now, I want you to imagine I have 2 cups, 2 Dixie cups on my shoulder right now filled with water. And I can't spill that water. Here's what you're going to see. Okay, people are rocking, they're walking, their feet are coming together. Hey, how you doing? Okay, they're not paying attention. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to slow that down, steady cam, and we're going to move as slow as we can. Eccentric, concentric. Eccentric, concentric. And we're going to go back and forth. Now what I'm going to have you do is 5 steps to the left, 5 steps to the right, and you're going to do that 4 times. Okay? So 5 by 4, 5 to the right, 5 to the left, 4 times. As soon as you drop that, turn, and you're going to step back into a lunge. But let's go over that. For a visual, I want you to look at that stick between my legs on the floor. Everyone who does a step back lunge usually steps out to the side. Okay, I want to make sure that if you slide your leg back, straight back, along the stick, then I go into my position. In this position here, water can run down the thigh. I don't want to go too deep. Okay, I don't want to be up too high, but I just want to make sure that water could still run down. So as I position myself back, I step forward by lifting my chest, and my foot contacts the floor. I step back, I lift the chest, my foot hits the floor. That's your step back lunge. We're not going to do any step forward lunges. And I'm going to have you do 10 on each side. So you're here. When that leg comes down, that arm is right here. I step forward, counterbalance. 1, 2, 3, etc. Now you can do 10 on each side. I'm going to show you from the back. I step straight back. Here, left. Here, left. Here, left. Here, left. Okay, it's a step back lunge. Once you master that step back lunge, 10 on each side. I just did right side 10, left side 10. Now you're just going to step back and hold this posture with your arms up over your head, thumbs back. Just hold the posture, 10 reps. Just hold it. Do nothing. Just hold it. Put your arms down to your side. Just hold the position. Hold the position. Arms by your side. Hold the position. Over a 10 to 15 second period, step forward. Come down. Arms up. Hold. Hold. Here. Here. Step forward. I want you to do that twice on each side. Do you understand the pattern? Okay, we put down the tube after walking 5 each side. 5 steps to the right, 5 steps to the left, 4 turns. We went to the step back lunge. We did 10 on each side. We immediately went into that static hold. Here and here, 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, what that's called is a triplet. There's 3 exercises that are done that are paired. 1, 2, 3. We pair them together. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go around 3 times. We'll be right back. Okay, we just got done with the triplet. If you remember, we did the tube walk side to side, the step back lunge, 10 on each side, and then we went immediately into the static position with our arms over our head, arms in a T position, arms in an I position. Okay, and then from there, we did what? How many times did you go around? 3 times. So that series of 1, 2, 3 was a 1 set. So equate that to 1 set, and then we did it around 3 times. As soon as you get done with that, I have 2 light dumbbells here. Okay? Now, it's all relative. These are 15 pounds. You might use 8 pounds or 10 pounds. If you remember, our dissertation in the beginning was to buy some different things. I'm going to send you some links. Remember the yoga blocks? I have 2 yoga blocks piled on top of each other. Okay, based for my leg length and my height being 6 feet, I don't want to go too deep on this because I'm going to round my back out. I'm not going to be able to maintain a neutral spine in this position. So I'm limiting my range of motion by adding the blocks. Now, in this position, if I bend over, what's the first thing that wants to happen? Opposing forces want to round my shoulder blades out and round my back out. I have to stay retracted. So the first thing I'm going to do in this position is act as if I have a wheelbarrow in my hand, and I'm going to draw my shoulder blades back, just like the position you'd be if you were using a wheelbarrow. Okay, the best way I could explain it. 1 foot stays contact, I come down, I bend, I tap the yoga block, I stand tall. Come back, tap the block, stand tall. This is incorrect. This is correct. This is incorrect. Okay, so you can see the deviation between neutral and forward protracted shoulder girdle. So we want to make sure we stay neutral. Neutral would be that at all times make sure your shoulder joint is right under your earlobe. Okay, don't let it go forward. Keep it back, if anything, behind your earlobe or to your earlobe. And obviously we're going to switch. We're going to do 10 on each side. You're here, lift. Here, lift. Here, lift. Here, lift. So, to define what we just did, I did 10 to 12 repetitions or step backs with each leg. Right side, left side. Right side, left side, right side, left side. Non-stop. Right foot forward, left foot forward, tap, etc. I go through non-stop. Non-stop 3 sets. This was your option. I gave you an option of doing this. What you just saw, that segment, was a Friday, Saturday option. I don't know if you're going to be running on Friday or doing your long run on Sunday, but the bottom line is, here's the way I look at your present condition and what you're trying to accomplish. You have so much cardiovascular activity in your lifestyle right now. As you noticed, I didn't put too much into this program. Usually I have a cardio component. We call it an active rest or an active recovery. I didn't want to do that with you. When you tell me you're going to be in a 5K here and going into a half marathon and you're running 3 days a week, that's enough cardiovascular activity. Personally, I feel that you're not eating enough calories. We're going to get into that with the nutrition segment. And I want to make sure that you're not cleansing so often, because you're never going to be able to get through these workouts, and you're going to sacrifice some serious muscle, some hypertrophy, everything that's going to be the furnaces to which fat is burned. You're deviating from that goal by cleansing so often. I haven't met anybody in this ISA challenge deal or in life that are dealing with the products that literally cleanse twice a week. So to me, that's about a 3.5-day waste of time if you're strength training like this. So we want to try to come up with a better concept. You could do the cleanse for life. You could do it in the evening. You could do it at night before you go to bed. But I want you to have healthy, whole, natural, non-processed foods throughout the day. So here's our last exercise of that optional day, whether it's Friday or Saturday. When you're done with all that leg series, and you notice I didn't do too hardcore on the leg, I don't want to deviate and get your legs too tight. I want you to make sure you're stretching so when you do the run. As soon as you get done with that little leg series you saw, I want you to immediately go back to the bench. Remember the analogy of that piece of plastic. As I heat that piece of plastic, it goes into a new formation. It stays in that formation versus a cold piece of plastic that I bend, I let it go and it goes back to its original form. So think about those muscles elongating, bend over from the hip. Remember the bow and arrow analogy. Here I go. I'm pulling back the bow, I hold. Posture position. I'm rotating over that leg. Come back to neutral. Flex forward. Feel the elongation of the hamstring. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let your body relax. Feel it open. Pull the bow. Hold the position. Come back. Switch legs. Flex forward from the hip. Let your body adjust to the stretch. Feel the stretch. Never pull your toe towards you. You're going to feel that in the gastroc. Never point your toe, just keep it neutral. I'm flexing from the spine. Do you remember the worst thing you could do in this stretch? This is the worst thing you could do. Don't reach for your toes. Spinal flexion versus hip flexion. We want a hip flex. Get that arrow ready, pull it back, and hold. Okay, do you remember when we did the quad stretch in the bench? We're going to come to the side. Okay, now, you're home, so you might not have this at home. That was your first quad stretch. If you're home, just do a very simple stretch. Let me show you how to get into this. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see somebody throw their leg back and try to grab. They're probably going to grab their foot. You never want to do that. Let me make it easy for you. Lift your foot in front of you and grab your ankle, and then just bring it back. It's comical. I know. So we're just going to hold this position right here. Feel the stretch. The way you get the stretch is not by pulling your arm, but it's by elongating your spine and standing as tall as possible. Just don't go up on your toes. Okay? Again, holding it this way. Bring your foot up in front of you. Grab your ankle. Bring your leg back. Lengthen your spine and hold. These are very old school stretches, but they're going to make a world of difference. Now, if you are an elite athlete and you've been rolling myofascial release, you can incorporate some of that myofascial release as well, rolling the quadriceps, the hip flexors, the calves, etc. I'm sure you learned that through associates of yours or friends who run on a regular basis. Okay, we are going to do one more series of exercises. We're going to finish up with the hip thrust. This is that special day. I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday. We're going to start with the hip thrust here and go into the dead bug one more time. Right here, feet are underneath the knees. You're up, your head is supported. I'm in an extended position, tabletop. I drop, I lift. I'm going to do 15 repetitions. When I get done with 15, I'm going to what? Rock back. Go right into the dead bug position and hold. I'm going to do whatever I can possible to hold this tightness. I'm bringing my ribs into my hips. I'm clapping my hands, holding the position. Now, I'm going to play with lever arms. Okay? I'm going to send my left out and my right. I'm going to hold. I'm going to switch. I'm going to hold. I'm going to switch. I'm going to hold. Slow, rhythmic, smooth, controlled, active control. Nothing ballistic. Bring them in. Hold. 2, 3, 4. My neck hurts. Hands behind your ears. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Drop. Hip thrust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. Scoot back. You're going to do 3 sets, non-stop. Hip thrust, hold the bug, play with lever arms. 3 sets. When you do those two combined, the hip thrust and the dead bug, call it the dead bug for conversation, that is 1 set. You're going to do a pairing of 3. So you're going to go non-stop. So it's a total of 6 movement patterns, 3 being the same, back to back. because you're working agonist-antagonist. You have the rectus abdominis, the flat superficial muscle that's controlling that spinal flexion mechanism, and then you have the extension mechanism, which is controlling the low back, the glutes, and the hamstrings. So you want muscular balance. I want you to review this video, look at each segment. Remember, you have your Monday, you have your Tuesday at home, you have your Wednesday at the gym, you have your Thursday at home, and then I gave you that optional Friday or Saturday to do what you want to do in regards to being at home or the gym in those series of exercises. You're awesome, you rock. Get in touch with me. I know you're going to have a lot of questions, and hey, you're stuck with me for the next 90 days. We'll talk soon. Thank you.